first of all, let me thank you for the opportunity to participate in this very representative forum. Thanks a lot for the invitation. I looked at the agenda, and by all means, I wanted to mention that, yes, we are discussing that range of problems and issues which have a global nature. This is not a point approach. In fact, today we are talking about the direction. Where should we go in future? And bearing in mind all the changes of the global economy and the transition to Industry 5.0, technological order 6.0, no matter how we call it, it defines the importance of the discussed issues. And by all means, despite despite probably this pretty compressed time frame, I still should thank the organizers of the forum, and first of all, the director of the Institute of Economics of the Ural branch of Academy of Sciences, Yulia, for the opportunity to discuss all those issues today. And talking about the problems and the future, by all means, we should understand that those technologies to which we are moving at present should contribute, first of all, to the growth of well-being of the population and be focused on society. Transition to new technologies, to Industry 5.0, is already regulated by a number of initiatives, and we see that the understanding of importance of the development of economy in accordance with the new technological basis is determined by the strategy of national security. And this must facilitate in the reaching of goals of the Russian Federation. And of course, a number of initiatives and programs which have been developed and which are already in effect in the Russian Federation aimed at reaching the high level of prosperity owing to implementation of new technologies. And talking about technological breakthrough, by all means, it must contribute to the decrease of poverty of the population. And as was noted at its time by Dmitry Sorokin, poverty and progress are mutually excluding concepts. And the first priority must be elimination of poverty. Let us look at how we can characterize certain achievements in implementing technology, including the achievements in social aspects. Of course, talking about the transition to a new technological order, this is something we discussed for a long time. If we look at it, then from 2008, we implemented the concept of social economic development 2020. And in that concept, one of performance indicators, so one of the targets which were to reach by 2020, characterized implementation of new technologies in our economy. And that was the unit weight of organizations implementing technical innovations. And the planned value of this indicator in the concept 2020 was determined as the reaching of 50% level. A little bit later, we adopted the development plan of the Russian Federation, and there that value target for 2020 was as a border, as a range from 40 to 50. If we look at the dynamics of the performance, then we can see that we are lagging far behind the targets. By 2020, we reached only 23% of all the organizations which are involved in technological innovation. And this growth to 23% from 9.4 in 98 at the time when this concept was approved was reached not owing to the fact that organizations started technological modernization. It was owing to the change of counting methodology in the organization involved in technological innovation. The methodology has changed in 2017, and right away we see the growth of performance indicators from the value of 2017 in old methodology, and as soon as the range of criteria was expanded, the criteria according to which the company was listed as technologically innovative, we saw an immediate growth to 28%. But in fact, by 2017, from 28 to 2017, we saw not growth, but decrease in innovation. And the following dynamics can be seen that even with a new methodology by 22, today Rostat gives the numbers of the unit weight of the technologically innovative organizations, 20.8%. That is, there is no significant change in the dynamics of the increase of implementing technical innovations in the economy. And this insignificant variation is projected to all the other processes. So we see what happens with poverty decrease dynamics. It does not go down. In some periods, it goes up. In some periods, it goes down. But in general, in implementation of the concept, we reached only on the average 0.72 decrease of poverty, less than 1%. That, in fact, is a statistical error. So poverty does not decrease in our country in the same way as we see by certain indicators which must reflect application of this methodology or implementation of the methodology in the economy. Again, there is no significant change. Now, what follows? The main problem is that entrepreneurs do not want, they are not interested in technological modernization. There is a very significant way of the production funds, and the share of research intensive products today is only 22.6%. And over the 10 years, again, there was no significant growth in that respect. From that, it follows and that the quality performance indicators or social development of society, GDP per capita, the average growth from 26 is only 3.41%. Again, this tells us that, in fact, we have only reproduction and we do not have sufficient financing of social sphere. Growth should be not less than 5%. So it's clear that, yes, the questions are, first of all, to the production sphere. We must produce high-tech products based on new technology, technologies of Industry 6.0, technologies characterizing Industry 5.0. And the characteristics of what we are reaching in terms of social performance is that, yes, if nominally we see a pretty good annual growth of income, in real terms, we do not have any income growth. From 2006 to 2022, the real expandable income is decreasing annually by 9.7%. This results also in significant differentiation of society in terms of income, and a number of social indicators are also not meeting the formulated targets, development targets. And if we look in greater detail at the characteristics of how we defined the relationship between the transition to Industry 5.0 to a new technological approach and the change of performance indicators of well-being of society, we will see that by all means the well-being depends on implementation of new technologies. Therefore, it's very important to perform an analysis, detailed analysis by regions. The technology is not introduced evenly throughout the territory of the Russian Federation, and it would be wrong to give a generalized estimate. We should distribute the regions by the level of technological development, calculating the index of technological development on the basis of matrices which characterize both the costs for financing the technological development and implementation of technologies and the results of the use of technology. Through this approach, we identified both leading regions and regions lagging behind. And hence, for the leading regions, it is characteristic that the growth of technological development is directly dependent on the growth of per capita income. The correlation coefficient is 0.95. Therefore, according to the characteristic, we have direct relationship. When the income grows, we always see the growing polarization of society. And in conclusion, it is necessary to note that by all means, at the stage of growth of new technological order, where is the growth of well-being of the population, while at maturity stage, preceding the new technological order, we may see the growth of poverty, and this confirms and proves the correctness of the thesis, the transition to new technology, technology 500, is a determinant of growth or well-being of the population of Russia and its region. Dear colleagues, I thank you for your attention. This is very briefly an overview, and in greater detail, you may learn it from our publications.